When humanity first stepped beyond the solar system, we expected danger. We expected strange worlds, hostile environments, and alien species that might see us as invaders. What we didn't expect was loneliness. My name is Daniel Carter, and I was stationed on Outpost Erix, a small mining colony on the outer edge of the Orion Expanse. It wasn't a glamorous job. We extracted rare crystalline fuel from a dead moon orbiting a blue giant star. The work was repetitive, the food was terrible, and the stars outside the observation windows were the only reminder that we were part of something bigger. There were only 32 humans on the entire outpost. And for the first year, we believed we were completely alone. Until the day I met her. I was repairing a damaged mining drone near the canyon fields when the scanner started screaming. At first, I thought it was a meteor strike warning. But the readings were strange, too precise, too organized. Then I saw movement along the canyon wall. Something tall stepped from the shadow of the crystalline cliffs. I froze. She wasn't human. Her skin shimmered like pale silver under the alien sun, and faint lines of glowing blue ran along her arms like veins of light. Her eyes were larger than ours, deep violet and almost reflective. Long dark hair flowed behind her, moving gently even though there was no wind. And she was watching me. Every protocol I'd learned told me to run, report, call security. Instead, I just stood there. Because she didn't look like a threat. She looked curious. Slowly, she stepped closer. When she spoke, her voice was soft but strangely melodic. You are not like the others who came before. My heart nearly stopped. You speak English? I asked. Your language was easy to learn, she replied. That was the moment I realized two terrifying things. First, this species had been watching us. Second, I had absolutely no idea how long. Her name was Lyra. She belonged to a species called the Valari, a civilization that lived within hidden cities beneath the crystalline deserts of the moon. According to her, they had been observing humanity ever since our first ships entered the system. Not to attack us, but to judge us. The galaxy has many young civilizations, Lyra explained one evening as we sat beside the canyon ridge. Most destroy themselves before they grow wise. So you're studying us? I asked. She tilted her head. Trying to understand you. Over time, our meetings became regular. I never told the colony. If Command discovered an alien civilization nearby, they would send fleets, diplomats, scientists, soldiers, and probably ruin whatever fragile peace existed. So, I kept it secret. Just me and Lyra beneath the endless alien sky. At first we talked about simple things. Human culture, Valari history, stars and planets. But slowly something changed. The conversations became longer. Our laughter became easier. And the silence between us stopped feeling awkward. It felt comfortable. One night, while we were watching the blue giant star sink below the horizon, Lyra asked a question that caught me completely off guard. Daniel, do humans form bonds with those outside their species? I smiled nervously. Sometimes. And you? She asked softly. I hesitated, because the truth had been growing inside me for months. Yes, I said. Her glowing markings brightened faintly, and for the first time since I met her, she looked nervous. Our relationship changed after that. We began exploring the desert valleys together. She showed me hidden Valari structures buried beneath the crystal fields, ancient towers that hummed with unknown energy. I showed her old human songs and stories from Earth. She loved music, especially the quiet ones. Sometimes she would close her eyes while listening, her glowing patterns pulsing gently in rhythm. Your species feels emotions very strongly, she once said. Is that a bad thing? I asked. She shook her head slowly. No. Then she looked directly into my eyes. It is beautiful. And in that moment, I realized I was completely in love with her. But the galaxy never lets happiness stay simple. One evening, as Lyra and I walked along the canyon ridge, the sky suddenly changed. A massive shadow passed over the desert. I looked up, and my blood ran cold. An enormous starship hung above the atmosphere. It was unlike any human vessel. Its shape resembled a curved blade, and its surface shimmered with living light. Lyra froze. Her glowing markings suddenly dimmed. "Lyra?" I asked. "What is that?" Her voice trembled slightly. "It's a royal vessel." "Royal." Before she could answer, a beam of light shot down from the ship and struck the canyon floor nearby. 3 figures emerged. They looked like Lyra, but taller, armored in black metallic plates that glowed with deep crimson energy. One of them stepped forward. "Lyra Valeries," the figure said coldly. "You have been summoned." Lyra stepped in front of me. "I know why you've come." The armored figure's eyes shifted toward me, and the moment they saw me, everything changed. "A human," the warrior said slowly. The air suddenly felt dangerous. "You were forbidden from interacting with them." My heart pounded. "Lyra, what's going on?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked at the soldiers. Then she looked at me, and I saw something in her eyes I had never seen before. Fear. "Daniel," she said quietly, "there is something I never told you." The lead warrior's voice cut through the silence. "You should have told him the truth, Princess." "Princess?" My mind struggled to process the word. Lyra turned toward me slowly. "I am not just Valari," she said. Her voice was filled with regret. "I am the daughter of our queen." The world seemed to stop spinning. "Your royalty?" "Yes. And the ship above us belongs to her." My stomach tightened. "Your mother?" Lyra nodded. "The queen of the Valari Empire." The soldiers escorted us aboard the royal ship. I had never seen technology like it. The interior seemed alive, walls shifting with flowing patterns of light, corridors forming and reshaping as we walked. Every Valari we passed stared at me like I was some kind of dangerous animal. Eventually, we were brought into a vast chamber. At the far end stood a throne of crystalline energy, and sitting upon it was the queen. She looked similar to Lyra, but older, more powerful. Her eyes burned like violet fire. When she spoke, the entire chamber fell silent. "So this is the human who captured my daughter's attention." Her gaze locked onto me. "You have caused quite the disruption among my people." I forced myself to stand straight. I didn't know who she was. "That does not change what you did," the queen replied. Lyra stepped forward quickly. "Mother, he means no harm." The queen raised one elegant hand. Silence. The chamber instantly went quiet again. Her eyes never left mine. "Tell me, human," she said calmly. "Do you love my daughter?" The question hit like a meteor. Every Valari in the room turned toward me. Even Lyra looked shocked. But I knew the answer. "Yes," I said. No hesitation. No fear. Just the truth. The queen studied my face for a long moment. Then she stood. "You realize what that means?" "I don't," I admitted. "But I'm willing to find out." A faint smile touched the queen's lips. But it wasn't a friendly smile. "It means," she said, "that you have interfered with the future ruler of an empire spanning 50 star systems." The room seemed to grow colder. "And for that," she continued, "you must be judged." The trial lasted 3 days. I was questioned by Valari elders, military commanders, and scholars. They wanted to know everything. Human history, our wars, our technology, our values. Some clearly believed humanity was too dangerous to exist near their territory. Others seemed impressed. But the final decision belonged to one person. the Queen. On the third day, I was brought back to the throne chamber. Lyra stood beside her mother. Her expression was unreadable. The Queen looked down at me. "The council is divided," she said. "Some believe humanity should be erased before it becomes a threat." A ripple of whispers spread through the chamber. My chest tightened. But she continued, "Others believe your species may one day become an ally." Her gaze sharpened. "And my daughter believes something else entirely." I glanced at Lyra. She met my eyes, her glowing markings bright. "She believes," the Queen said slowly, "that you are worth protecting." The chamber erupted in shocked voices. The Queen raised her hand again, silencing them. Then she spoke the words that changed my life forever. "I will allow this human to live." Relief crashed through me. But she wasn't finished. "However," she continued, "if he wishes to remain with my daughter, he must prove that humanity deserves a place beside the Volari." I swallowed. "How?" The Queen's eyes gleamed. "By becoming the first human ever tested by our empire." Lyra looked horrified. "Mother, the trials could kill him." "Yes," the Queen replied calmly. Then she looked directly at me. "Do you accept?" The entire empire seemed to be waiting for my answer. I looked at Lyra, at the woman I loved, and I realized something. Love wasn't just about happiness. Sometimes it meant stepping into the unknown. "I accept," I said. The trials were brutal. Physical endurance, mental challenges, simulated battles against Volari warriors. For 10 days I pushed my body beyond anything I thought possible. More than once I nearly collapsed. But every time I wanted to quit, I remembered Lyra, and I kept going. Finally, on the last day, the Queen appeared in the arena. "You have endured what few outsiders ever could," she said. "But the final trial is the most important." She stepped closer. "You must answer one final question." The chamber fell silent. "What future do you believe humanity deserves in this galaxy?" I looked around the arena, at the Volari warriors, at the Queen, and finally, at Lyra. "A future where we learn from those stronger than us," I said. "Where we don't repeat the mistakes that destroyed so many civilizations." The Queen studied me carefully. "And if humanity becomes powerful?" I met her gaze. "Then we protect the ones who trusted us first." For several seconds, no one spoke. Then the Queen slowly nodded. "The trials are complete." She turned to the council. "This human has proven something rare." "What?" one elder asked. The Queen looked back at me. "Hope." She raised her voice across the chamber. "From this day forward, humanity will be recognized as a protected civilization of the Volari Empire." Gasps filled the hall. Then she turned to Lyra. "And as for you, my daughter." Lyra stepped forward nervously. The Queen smiled faintly. "You chose well." Months later, the human colony learned the truth. Humanity's first alliance with an alien empire had begun, and somehow, a mechanic from Earth had become the bridge between two civilizations. Sometimes I still sit with Lyra beneath the alien stars, the same place where we first met. She leans against my shoulder, watching the sky. "Daniel," she asked once, "do humans believe in destiny?" I smiled. "Sometimes." She squeezed my hand. "Good." Because far above us, the royal fleet watched over two growing civilizations. And for the first time in galactic history, a human and an alien princess were writing the same future together. The future of the stars. And this time, neither of us would face it alone.